along, but this will be better. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rosenthal family, Phil, Lily, Ben, and Richard. Welcome. Hey, Phil.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Austin.
Yeah, come closer.
We love you. We love your food. Oh, thank you. We love your barbecue. We love your breakfast tacos.
All right, so since we have the family here, I have some family questions.
The song cut off.
Yeah, it wasn't the full thing.
What the hell?
We'll all sing it at the end of the
Okay.
panel, I promise. Okay, so I want to talk Rosenthal family cuisine. First of all, with Phil and Richard. Growing up, what sort of food was in the house?
Richard, you want to take that one?
My mother was not a great cook. How dare you?
Isn't Richard awful?
She worked, so she didn't have a lot of time to cook, but she was not a good cook. And Philip would only eat hamburgers and hot dogs growing up. That was it, right?
I remember you guys told me that when you were kids, Grandma would give you balled up hamburger meat,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
That was
raw
our
meat.
snack.
Yeah.
Raw ground beef from the supermarket. She did put a little salt on it because she
Very
was
nice.
a culinary giant. She once, for Passover, I'm not kidding, she once made matzah lasagna. Oh. Yes, she found this recipe in an anti-Semitic cookbook. We gave some to the cat, and the cat took a bite and walked out the front door and in front of a car.
Okay, so this then leads...
Hold on, I want to end on a good note.
Okay,
Yes.
please, Lily.
She made great matzo ball soup.
Yes.
Like, fantastic.
Because she left out the lasagna part.
Yes. Okay, so what I'm trying to figure out, Phil, is how you go from growing up in this household with sort of, and being as picky an eater as you are, and I was just that picky growing up, so I know what this is like. How did you go from that to being the guy willing to eat haggis when he goes to Scotland and being willing to eat all of the things very adventurously on this show?
I have to tell you something. Who's been to Scotland here? Who's had haggis?
God.
It's good, right? There's two kinds of anything, good and bad, right? So Richard, you liked it.
Absolutely.
It's
but
very tasty.
I would say they do a lot more chefy things with haggis.
Yeah.
Now it's not just, you know what I mean? It's like they fry it. They do things to it that make it really tasty.
Have you guys had some haggis?
I had haggis.
You liked it?
I liked it. It was the first place we went
Yeah.
to when we got to Scotland.
Then you weren't
I loved it.
there.
I didn't go to Scotland, but
Wait,
I would try it.
Is your mic working?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Ben's mic is working.
It is?
Your mic is not-
Is
There it
Ben's
is.
mic working?
There he is. That's
think
Ben,
that-
Now it
everybody.
is. Okay.
I think that was on purpose.
I guess what I'm asking, though, is...
By the way, no one cares where Monica is?
Yeah. Nobody's missing Mom?
Are you
No?
sitting there going, isn't this... She left me for Andrew Zimmern. No, she's in a play in L.A.
An incredible play.
She's doing a Samuel Beckett play called Happy Days. Yes, she's playing Arthur Fonzarelli.
No.
TV joke for the TV festival.
Yeah. You can't tell that here. You can't tell it anywhere.
But these are my people. They know.
So I guess what I'm asking is how did
When did I have food with what they call flavor?
Yes, so how did you develop...
When I left that house. It was like I'm in the Wizard of Oz, and you open the door, and now the movie's in color. And the first time I went to Europe, I was 23, and my head exploded. I couldn't believe the food was so delicious, that there was a world of delicious food out there. And then travel, of course, was the main thing, and the people I met.
Yep.
You know, in that first trip, I'm still friends with today, which is why you have to travel.
Yes. Okay, so now we've talked about Helen and Max's household. Now we need to talk about Phil and Monica's household. Lily and Ben.
Oh, no.
What was food like in the house for the two of you growing up, especially because your mom and dad were working, at that time?
Benny, you want to take that one?
We ate a lot of like restaurant food takeout.
Yeah.
Not a ton of cook. My mom did her best to make food for us.
Do you
healthy
remember
food.
she had a sauce that she loved that she found at the grocery store called soy vey.
Yeah.
It was not great. Not great.
It's a Trader Joe's teriyaki
Yeah.
soy-based
Yeah.
sauce.
Good on everything.
Soy vey. And my dad,
Kosher.
if he was cooking, that's a light definition, but he would say, "All right, kids, it's time for Daddy's famous bowl of cereal."
But you have to remember, they were young and a little stupid.
All right, so Phil.
Easy to fool. And they would get excited.
Phil, I was on the Raymond set. I was in the Raymond writers' room. You're giving like the people on that show all this amazing food, and you're giving them cereal. That doesn't sound great to me.
Well, that was all takeout, right?
Yes.
If it was up to me to cook for the staff, we'd all be dead.
Yes.
Because I inherited this talent, right?
Yes.
But I love chefs. I love, it's an art form.
Yeah.
One of the great ones, right?
Yep.
Who's to say your sense of taste is any less than your sense of sight or hearing? So I think it's one of the arts, and we support the arts, don't we? So
Definitely. So Richard, when the show was being developed, look, it's amazing to me how much of a family operation it is. You're always there with Phil. The kids have been coming a lot. Monica goes frequently. Your parents were involved, up until they passed. So where did that part of the show come from, the family element?
he lied on his resume.
And my daughter actually cut the second half of the.
Woohoo! Tess
Nice.
Rosenthal.
That's
everybody.
right.
So the nepotism runs deep. No, I mean, Philip, I was a producer, and Philip, you have to tell the story.
Yeah. Tell the story.
Tell the story.
Of the whole thing? Of
Well,
the show?
tell the. Yeah. When you
Yeah,
have
tell
to
the whole
tell
story.
the end
All right.
of it.
We have a minute, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. After Raymond, I had this dream because I had asked Ray between season 1 and 2 where he was going on his vacation, his hiatus. And he said, I go to the Jersey Shore. And you're from Jersey.
Yes.
We know the glories of the Jersey Shore. I'm from New York.
If I had CBS sitcom money, I would not be going to the Jersey
Yes,
Shore.
but he would. He would. Because when I said, how about Europe? He said, nah. I said, why not? And this is what he said, my hand to God. I'm not really interested in different. So it didn't matter how much money or not. He liked the Jersey Shore. And right there, I had this idea. We're going to do that episode. What do you mean? He goes, I said, we're going to do this episode where we send you to Italy as you, and you come back as me. Someone who's excited about travel, and especially Italy and the people in Italy and the food in Italy, right? Well, it took me 3 or 4 years to get him on a plane because he didn't want to fly either, okay? But we went, and how many of you saw that episode of Raymond where we go to Italy? Okay. So very nice episode. I'm very proud of that episode because it exemplifies everything I felt about travel and still do. But the best part was that I saw Ray, the person, get it, just like the character in the show. He comes running to me like, Phil, have you had gelato?
Incredible.
I said, pretty good, huh? He goes, yeah, the pizza, the pasta. Yes, this is where they make it, Ray. At that moment, I thought, what if I could do this for other people? What if I could turn them on to travel by showing them the best place in the world to eat? And then, you know what happened? I stayed with Raymond for 9 years. 9 years go by. Yes. Thank you for my stick-to-itiveness. Yes. But it was fun. It was a time of my life until today. And I just love doing it. And I thought my purpose in life is to make sitcoms. So I wrote another one right after Raymond, and nobody wanted it. And then I wrote another one, and nobody wanted it. And I said, what's going on? And my people said, yeah, everybody likes you. Just, things now, the business changed since you're doing Raymond. Things now are more hip and edgy. So you should just do what you do. Just be more hip and edgy.
Those are often two adjectives I think of when I think
Yes, I'm like, you got the right guy. I'm Mr. Hip and Edgy. The kids know.
Yes.
So hip, so edgy.
Tell them how hip and edgy I am.
I don't have to say a thing. Look at him.
So finally, I got tired of knocking my head against that wall, and I thought, if I'm going to knock my head against the wall, why don't I pursue my dream thing?
Yep.
The dream thing of doing this for other people. What if I could do a travel? I don't know if you have an agent, but I walked in my agent's office, and I said, I think I want to host a travel show. And they looked at me as if I pooped on their carpet. They said, why would you, where would you even do? I said, I'm thinking PBS. And they said, why don't you just set fire to the building? There's no money at PBS. Why would you say PBS to us? And I said, because on PBS, I might be hip and edgy. And they said, well, we're not going to PBS. We're going to a place that makes these things. I said, where do they make these things? They said, the Travel Channel, Phil. All right, I'm not an idiot. Let's go to the Travel Channel. You're going to think I'm making this up. But I met with the president of the Travel Channel. And this is what he said to me. We've done some research, and we found that our audience doesn't really like travel.
Unfortunately, I believe that.
Yes. I said, oh my, what are you going to do? He said, well, we're going to do shows that are more travel adjacent. I said, what the hell does that mean? Have you ever heard that before, that expression? Travel adjacent?
I don't know.
Well, here's what it is. He explained it. Like, we're going to have a show this year. It's called Pimp My RV. You understand? I said, I think I do. You're going to pimp an RV, but you're not going to go anywhere? And he said, that's right. I said, thank you very much. I go to the elevators with my agent. Can we go to PBS now? No. Now we go to the Food Network. The Food Network is owned by the same people that own the Travel Channel. Yep. And the head of Food Network said, my hand to God, we're kind of getting away from the food thing.
I unfortunately believe that too.
Yes, we do shows that are more food adjacent. True. They must have had a company-wide meeting that morning, and the word of the day is adjacent. From the time Raymond was over to the time we walked into PBS was 10 years. God. Yes. But I was ready, and I sold the show with one line. This is the line, the actual line I said to them. I'm exactly like Anthony Bourdain if he was afraid of everything. And the first person I called was Richard, who was a producer already, great producer, did a lot of TV shows and commercials and Facebook stuff and all kinds of things. And when I told him that they're going to let me do this, he said, really? They're going to let you travel around the world and eat? I said, yes. And he said, swear to God, what are they going to call this show? The Lucky Bastard? And I said, quit your job and come produce the show with me. And we'll call our production company Lucky Bastards. And so now we do it, and I get to... Yes. I get to travel the world with my best friend. That's true. Yes. He is an asshole. You see what he makes me do.
I see.
The water's very cold.
And that's my answer to your question, Alan.
Thank you. Very nicely done, Richard. Thank you. Okay, so Phil, you were enormously successful.
All right.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Very nice.
Okay, you were not necessarily famous. Now you are famous. And
It's unbelievable.
I heard a story from our mutual friend Mike Royce that he was who was a writer on Raymond and has been to ATX many times, that he was out to dinner with you and Ray, and suddenly the people in the restaurant are all coming up to you instead of Ray, and Ray was very puzzled by this.
Do the Ray impression.
Ray says, when this happens, what world are we in? My favorite is when someone hands him a camera to take a picture with me and the people.
So funny. What's happening?
What is happening? But I have to tell you, Alan, it is amazing to wake up at this age and find yourself Taylor Swift.
So for the rest of you, what has it been like seeing this man you've known all your lives suddenly become the person?
Horrendous, Alan. Okay. Horrendous.
Please. Tell me more, Richard.
Like a living nightmare. It's great. I mean, it's amazing. It's incredible. I mean, it is amazing. I mean, he started as an actor, wanted to be an actor. It was, I think, becoming a writer I think he loved, obviously, being a writer, but I think he still had it in his bones that he wanted to be in front of the camera. And he's great at it, and don't tell him. And yeah.
Write that down, Lily.
It's been amazing to see. And the other thing is that, he really, it's really grown, naturally. The audience has really grown naturally. And so we've seen the progression of, him not getting much attention to, like, Taylor Swift.
Right. I mean, it is really weird to see so many people get so excited to see your dad take a bite. Like, it's crazy. Like, we'll get videos from people like jumping up and down, so excited to see,
Dad.
and it's, it's very nice because everyone gets to see what we see every day.
Oh.
But yes, good daughter quote, right?
They like you guys too. And I'm horrified to say they like Richard.
Love Richard.
I will say my kids really get freaked out if someone comes up to me. They really get freaked
It's
out.
strange.
'Cause I think they're used to it. I mean, just because the Raymond attention and everything, and they're used to it, my kids really get freaked out.
Well, this all happened. I mean, the show kind of picked up steam when I was away at college. So when I was in high school, I mean, people didn't recognize you on the street.
Right.
And then I come back from college, and I remember we went to a Dodger game, and we're walking up to our seats, and like multiple people are like, "Oh, Phil's here!" So that was crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to talk logistics of the show. Let's start out with just how do you guys pick which cities you're going to go to each season?
I think it's as simple as, like, where have we gone and where do we want to go, right? So Philip has a bucket list. We have bucket list. I mean, we just, it seems like we've done a lot of shows, but there's a ton of places we haven't been. Haven't been to Australia, haven't been to, China, haven't been to the Philippines, haven't been to Peru, you know what I mean? So there are places that we haven't been that we want to go to. So it's really as simple as that. It's
We've
not
only
like
done like
there's
40-something shows,
Yeah.
and there's 197 countries. So we have a ways to go.
Yeah.
It's a big world. Somebody's got to eat it.
That sounds like a good phrase. Someone should use that.
I'm sorry? Oh, thank you, dear. I'm not paying you. It was a good place to do a show. Austin.
Okay.
Except for the Formula One track. The worst thing that ever happened to me.
Okay, so let's use the Austin episode as an example.
Yeah.
You decide you're going to do an Austin episode. How do you figure out where you're going to go, what things you're going to try there, and what people you're going to interact with, including in the Austin episode, Caitlin and Emily?
Yeah, well, I've been coming to the Austin TV Festival for a long time now, and I love it. I've even come to South by, and I've come to the film festival as well. In fact, this theater right here, I had one of the best nights of my life because they had as their premiere event Exporting Raymond, which was the first thing I ever directed. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
So that's when the Russians called me and asked me if I would come and help them turn my sitcom into Everybody Loves Kostya. And I said I would if we could document the whole thing. And the film festival saw it and they made it their opening night event. And it was so much fun to come here. I love Austin and I love the food. And I've been eating here for many, many years. So I know the barbecue scene. I know the Tex-Mex scene. I know a lot of places. We did a little more research. Richard is great at it. And we have a production company in New York that used to be Anthony Bourdain's production company. So we have the benefit of all their knowledge and their boots on the ground in every city. And so it was easy. We didn't even scratch the surface of the food scene in Austin.
But I have to imagine, especially when people in a city learn that you're sniffing around, there's got to be like a lot of thirst, for lack of a better word, to have you come into their place. How much does that happen?
They don't know. They don't know until we get in. They don't know we're coming. We only contact the restaurants that we're going to go to. So it's not like restaurants pitch us and stuff because they don't know where we're going.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, and we already have the treatment. By the time we're here, we know, we leave room for serendipity.
Yeah.
And so we'll always go to a couple of other places that locals will tell us to go to. And so we always leave room for that. But when we come into a city, only the people who we've contacted are, know we're here.
Yeah, I remember like in the New York episode, for instance, you ran into, I think, the ballet dancers and had an impromptu picnic in the park. So
I thought that'd be a good scene. Yeah.
And it was.
This was something that rarely happened to me as an out-of-work actor in New York, having a picnic in Central Park with 3 New York City ballet dancers.
Years ago, I did a feature about Everybody Loves Raymond. And
You were very kind.
Yes, well, I used a phrase. I described you as, quote unquote, a trim man, and you reached out to me afterwards to thank me for describing you as trim. You said it was like the best description of you had ever heard.
By the way, there was a while on Raymond I could not be called that because, I don't know if you've worked in a writer's room, but, the only sunshine coming in the window is the menu. and so you take advantage of that. This is free food as much as you want. Should we get dessert? Yes. Which dessert? All of them. And we do it. And you you put on some pounds. I believe the phrase around the house was fatty daddy. But the Army travels on its stomach and it was very important. But when I hit 40, the doctor said, hey, your cholesterol a little high for your age. And no one had ever given me a bad report at a checkup before. And so I lost 30 pounds and I've managed to keep it off. I work very, very hard. I have to work out every day. And people say, you eat, it looks like you eat so much on the show. And I do, but I'll give you the secret. You know how they make a dog food commercial? They don't feed the dog until the commercial. So I'm the dog. And I don't eat until that scene. And it looks like I eat a lot. I guess I do. But that's usually the scene. That's usually all I ate that day. By the way, I look out at the crew and Richard, and they're looking back at me like this. So I give them, listen, it's only good if you can share it, right? So,
well, Richard, there's always bits in episodes where we see Phil passing food to you and to other members of the crew.
Sometimes he takes it without asking.
Yeah. How much, are we basically seeing every moment he does that, or is he doing it pretty much all the time?
All the time.
Okay.
All the time. There's only so much of me I can take, so. Yeah, no, but he does it all the time. And then we pass it around and the whole crew.
It's really fun.
Incredible that we don't get sick. We've really never gotten sick.
We went to Mumbai, didn't get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only place I got sick was San Francisco. Yes. And I coined a medical expression that's in the New England Journal of Medicine. It's true. It's called bush gush.
There are occasionally bits in the talking head segments where you will try some sort of local thing and you don't like it. But when we actually see you in the restaurants,
yes,
you love everything. Are there moments where like you try a dish and it's not for you and you just cut that out of the episode?
I know it looks like I like everything. People say it looks like you like everything. Yes, I like everything we put in the show. I'm not out to ruin somebody's business, right? So if I don't like something, why include it? I'm trying to get you to travel, to go to the place, so I want to show you the best stuff.
Yep.
You know, this is a philosophy of life, too. I don't have time for the negative.
That's good.
So we show you the great stuff. And if there's an ingredient that's not chef-specific, meaning the chef had nothing to do with this 1,000-year-old egg, this is just a thing in China, and I pop that whole thing in my mouth because I'm an idiot,
Yes.
Richard likes keeping that in the show.
Okay. Ben and Lily, do you remember the first place you went to with your dad for the show, either of you?
I think it was Copenhagen, right? Yeah. Was it?
Was it?
Yeah, it was for our birthdays.
Yeah.
We went for Copenhagen.
What
It
a
was
lovely
so
thing.
fun.
Best.
We loved it so much.
What
and
did
I
you say on your second day?
I could live here.
Yeah?
Really. It was beautiful and the food was incredible.
I worked as a camera assistant on the first couple of seasons and on the PBS version of the show too. Right. But I think Copenhagen was the first one that I went on camera. Yes. And
well, you were on camera in a video call with Helen and Max.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
I forget where, but I remember we had you on for.
It's a different experience being on camera and just eating the food as opposed to carrying equipment.
Did either of you like need any convincing to actually do like be on camera in that way?
No.
No.
Okay. Phil, are there any?
Very good. I love having them.
No, they're great. They're great.
Not like Monica. She's not.
Okay.
I'm kidding. She's a great actress. By the way, you know, she played Amy on Everybody Loves Raymond, right?
Yep.
And if we have a second, there's actually an interesting story how she got that part. She slept with the producer. And we were already married, so that was very unusual.
Yes. Yeah. Phil, I believe the quote you used with me one time is, we're lucky she's as good as she is because she was getting the job no matter what.
I needed a new sofa.
So how is it decided when Monica or when Ben or Lily are going to come with you to a place?
Great question. Whenever they're available. They're always welcome. I love having them. Listen, the show is decidedly a family show. I want you to be able to watch with your kids and grandma and grandpa. We have, a beautiful demographic of everyone from little tiny kids to dead people. Very nice.
What are some of the tricks of the trade you've learned over the years about eating on camera without looking disgusting, basically?
I have not mastered this.
I was going to say the same thing.
I honestly have never, ever thought about it. And you...
We know.
And if you watch, you'll see schmutz all over his face all the time.
She's the most embarrassed. She can't believe that I would have something.
Sometimes, I mean, you open your mouth so wide.
So what?
Sometimes it's
You
a big
open
thing.
So wide, like to have to get
funny.
all the things in there. Take a smaller bite, maybe.
Ben, do I embarrass you?
No.
Thank you, Ben.
He's only saying that because we're here.
I will say, it's something that I didn't think about when we were doing the scenes. And then when I watched the scene, I was like, oh my God. That's how I eat? That's what people see?
But we shouldn't be self-conscious. Everybody does. You know, I got to meet, I'm telling tales out of school. Don't repeat this. I met Barbara Streisand.
Oi.
She likes the show. I said, come do a scene with me. That's the first thing I would say to someone like that. Come do a scene with me. She goes, I don't eat on camera. Yes, this is a person who understands that you don't have to show everybody everything. So she's maybe smart, but I don't care.
We know.
Richard, Phil complained before about the Formula One bit from the Austin episode. When you're picking those sort of non-food adventure segments, what is the sadism level in your mind in terms of like...
exactly. What will punish him most?
That's honestly the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Because, you know, who's been on that track? And did you go in a Ferrari at 187 miles an hour, sir?
He's saying no. No.
No. 187. And on TV, it looks like zoom, zoom, zoom around it. No, it's the most violent thing. I mean, I'm an old Jewish man. We're not built for speed. And that thing takes off, and the G-forces are more than a rocket. You are hurled back, like this. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, like this. And then they hit the turn, and they hit the brake as hard as they can. So you rock forward, then you go to this side, then this side, and then it takes off again. This goes on for 2.5 years. That's a one lap around that track. And I get out of the car at the end like this. Right? And Richard and the crew come running over. They've been watching my face on the monitors because the cameras are on the dashboard. And they come over like this. Oh my God, that's the funniest thing I ever saw in my life. That was so hysterical. Oh, Phil, you gotta watch this back. Oh my God, look at the monitor. Oh my God.
Could barely breathe.
And now
Barely breathe.
For the
funny.
For the second lap, we need to get the exterior of the car. I said, there is no second lap, Richard. He said, but we need the exterior of the car. Oh, you need the exterior? You get in the goddamn car. And he gets in the car, and it takes off, and I'm watching this. It goes around the turn, and halfway down the back straight, it slows down, and then it stops, and the door opens, and Richard.
30-second rebuttal, please.
By all means.
I did the whole lap. It was car to car. We had the car. We had the camera on the back of the car. I did the whole thing, and in that, the car was like a foot away. So there's a high performance car in front of us with the camera. I'm in the back in the car with the driver in the Ferrari. It's like, I forget what the car is in the thing. We're going around. We did do it once, but then our director, John Badola, says, okay, do another lap do the other lap because we're going to do drone. And not even halfway on that lap, the car, I make the guy stop the car. I'm like realizing like the drone can't see who is in the car. I am not doing this anymore. And I did get out of that car, and I skipped to that part. And I was shaking.
Right.
Nobody cares what you went through, Richard.
Phil, but in response to this, I'm going to quote the great Phil Rosenthal, who says at the end of this particular season of Somebody Feed Phil, "Don't let your fear stop you from going, because every time I go out of my comfort zone a little bit, that's the most memorable bit."
True.
Being in a Formula One car sounds like going out of your comfort zone.
I'm always glad I did it. Here's how a conversation usually goes. You're jumping in that cold water. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. You're doing it. All right. And then they go, and I'm actually happy afterwards because, first of all, I lived. And second of all, like when I jumped in that water in Ireland, that was about 5 years ago. Ever since that moment, which was excruciating, it was so cold, I screamed bloody murder. But since that day, my hand to God, every single shower, every morning, the last 30 seconds, I turn it on cold, and it transports me right back there. And it also, for those of you cold plunge, you know it's a thing, like it has health properties. This is why I'm so trim today.
Are there places that each of you would really love to go with the show?
Oh.
Like a city or a country?
No.
Greece.
Oh, yes.
Greece is good.
Well, you just did this, but Japan.
Oh, yeah, same.
Yeah.
But Japan is big. There's plenty of Japan left that we should do.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh, you will? By the way, we took the kids when they were not even 3 and 6 years old. We took them to Venice, which turns out to be a very great first place. Caitlin, are you still here with Ren? This is a very good first place to go with the kid because what I realized was all the cars are boats. So it's fun. It's like the It's a Small World ride, except everyone waving is Italian.
Phil, is there anywhere that you like is still on your wish list?
Greece is a big one. We haven't been to San Sebastian in Spain, which is one of the food capitals of the world. I bet you guys have it way over me in terms of places to go. I should talk to you. In fact, should we talk to them?
Yeah, you guys start lining up. I got one more question.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then,
But we'll talk
do
to
audience
these people
Q&A. We
too.
got mics in each aisle.
Yes.
All right. So, Phil, in this season, there's this great moment. You're in Dubai, and I forget what dish you're having, but you're having it, and you're so overwhelmed, you basically start crying on camera.
Don't embarrass me, Alan.
I mean, you could have had Richard cut it out. You put that out for the world, so let's talk about it.
I think it's the most meaningful moment for many reasons, not just world events. It's a Palestinian woman's restaurant. It was filmed a year ago. And, the world tells us we're not supposed to fall in love, but we did. In fact, I got a voice memo from her today saying that she's so grateful that we were there because at least 3 people a day come to the restaurant because of the show, which is beautiful. That's nice. But the thing you're referring to is I sat down with her and her daughter. Her name is Salam Dukak, and she has a restaurant in Dubai. She immigrated from, I guess, Gaza to Dubai. There's 87% of Dubai is immigrants. And her and her daughter have this beautiful restaurant called Beit Mariam, which is Salam's mother. So it's an ode to her. And the daughter said she's gonna make you something, you're gonna feel something. And I'm like, yeah, right. I'd like to feel that it tastes good. But she made this thing, and if you saw the show, I don't know what happened. I wish I could explain to you that feeling. It's like I saw a UFO. I can't explain it. But it's like someone reached in and just kind of rubbed my heart. Yeah. And we are still in touch to this day. Beautiful woman, beautiful story. Listen, this is not the answer to all the troubles in the Middle East, but it's an answer, isn't it? So it means a lot to me.
All right, so let's start with questions right over there.
Let's turn on the lights so we can see the people. Yeah. More. What a beautiful theater this is. Aren't you proud of your Paramount Theater, everybody? Hi.
Hi, Phil and family. Big fan.
Phil and family. Sounds like a sitcom.
Oh, yeah, right? That's the next one. So you come off as very authentic on camera.
I come off that way, don't I? All an act.
Well, and I was wondering if there are ever moments during filming where you find yourself getting in your head and you kind of lose touch with what you're wanting to convey as open and authentic, and what do you do to get back to your authenticity?
That's very interesting. I can't say that happens because I've become comfortable. We've been doing this from the PBS show. I think we were on 2014, so we've been doing this 10 years. And I feel like my job as the host, especially when I'm doing a scene with someone else, is to make them comfortable. So I'll tell everybody, just roll. They know to just roll before we even sit down. They're already rolling. And I sit and I say, how you doing? Like this. Good. And I'm like, you want some of this? And there's already food, and here's the thing. What are you going to eat? I don't know. And they don't even know that we're rolling, right? But we're rolling. Sometimes they'll say, are we rolling? I'm like, yeah. It's easy, right? So that's the calmness and realness is because the camera knows when you're lying, right? There are people who speak on television. You know they're lying. Who am I talking about? And sometimes it catches up with them.
To whom could you be referring?
Nobody. It's not that type of show. But it's a very good question, but there is no acting on the show. There's no writing on. By the way, I told my friends during the strike we were allowed to continue because I told them there's no acting or writing on the show, and they said, no kidding. No kidding.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear.
Good. Hey, my name is Kate Ginsburg. My husband is here. You were his birthday gift this year.
Really? This is it?
His birthday was beginning of May, but tickets to this.
She could have spent a little more.
I didn't say it was the only thing.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Wow, I like how you said that. Mr. Ginsburg, very nice.
I don't have so much a question. It's just a huge thank you. Mike has been battling cancer off and on since 2014 was first diagnosis. 2017, it's been off and on since then. Of course, during COVID, we were super locked down because of his immune issues, and you were our comfort show.
Oh.
So, thank you so much.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
My name is Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
I wanted to first say to Lily, congratulations on your new restaurant concept.
Yes, Lily!
As somebody
And where's Mason?
Yeah, my boyfriend Mason is here. He's an incredible chef. We're open
Raise your hand, Mason. I can't
together.
see you. Oh,
I
back
see
there.
him. Oh, I love him.
Mason. You could have had a better seat, Mason.
Yeah, Mason, you could have been up front.
But my question actually comes back to your opening credits, which I think everyone in this room really just truly enjoys the.
Not the Paramount. They cut it right off.
I know.
That's enough.
I swear.
But the music of Lake Street Dive really gave you a format, these little clips that allowed you to put together a opening sequence that was really, you took from different pieces that I observed from the season. So do you know in the moment what those pieces are? Maybe this is a question for Richard more, but
it is.
Do you kind of see like, oh, that right there is for the opening sequence?
We do. When we see someone
Yeah.
feeding him, and some people like now want to feed him, that immediately gets cut.
Against my
Like
will.
Yeah. Like if someone
eating
is
this.
trying too hard to feed him and get into the opening credit, that doesn't work. But
that guy with the sandwich.
The guy with the sandwich, that
was natural.
Great. So the pastrami sandwich in Washington D.C. What is it? Shatusky? What was it?
The Kowskis
Kowskis.
in D.C. Oh, that's a good sandwich.
But we kind of put it into piles of like, this could be, Fly With Me, or whatever the whatever the.
Well, do you pick the ones that have maybe the best like visuals, or do they have a story behind them? Like what's important to you when you pick?
No, they just match we just try to match to the lyrics.
I mean, there's a lot of dancing. There's a lot of eating. There's a lot of lamb,
dancing.
pork, chicken, and pasta.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of pork. There's a lot of pasta. Sometimes there's not so
Chicken,
much. There's
lamb.
usually a lot of chicken. Sometimes lamb is a tough one, but yeah,
We always find it.
we find it.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Lake Street Dive, pretty great.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Sir, over there.
Hello, I'm Michael McFarland, and I intend to pass along your recommendation of Venice to Kate and Ren after this. But speaking of family,
What a nice granddaughter you have.
she's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think so,
I think so too.
as we all do. Since we're talking about family, tell us about a joke for Max.
Oh.
Nice.
You guys want to talk about Max?
Well, I think that one of the most special parts of the show, especially in the early seasons, was ending with that Skype call. Certainly one of my favorites. And I love that now in the newer seasons, they're continuing that tradition, but with different comedians all over the world, the country, everywhere, yeah. And they're all telling their joke for Max in his honor. And it's really special for our family to keep
I
that
think it's a
tradition.
wonderful tribute to.
Yeah, we love it.
He was always telling that style of joke, very specific.
Yeah.
And he was hilarious. That I feel like a big part of where all of us get our sense of humor from. So it fits so well with the spirit of the show, I think, as a viewer
And also son.
and as the eldest
Relative.
boy.
We like to play Succession in the house. Hopefully I won't die on the toilet.
Ben, you will be taking over. It'll be somebody feed Ben.
I mean, I think that's fair.
I would like that.
All this will be yours.
As the eldest boy, he gets the show. That makes sense.
Well, I'm going to tell you a joke for Max when we wrap up today, because nothing can top a nice joke for Max.
Okay, so we
Thank
have
you.
one more question, then we'll do the joke for Max.
Okay.
Hi, Phil. I'm Robin. I'm
Hi,
here
Robin.
with a couple little super fans.
I love. Where are
back
they?
in the back.
Hi. Hey.
Hey, come
You want to
up.
come down? Come down.
Come on.
They're a little nervous.
Me too.
I get nervous all the time, but I'm up on a stage. Come on.
I wanted to know, we love your show.
Thanks.
Watch it all the time. Have the best time watching it. The joy on these faces.
Who's this?
This is Walt.
Walt, you're cool. And who's that?
Teak.
Teak, what a great name. Walt and Teak.
Antique.
Wow, you should open a restaurant with them.
Yeah. I'd go every day.
I wanted to know if you have any advice for these little foodies,
Oh, boy.
because they're adventurous.
Well, Lily and I wrote a book about this very thing. Lily, you want to talk about this book?
Yeah. We we get a lot of kids that send in videos of them dancing, making the same funny faces that he makes. And I said to him, you really should write a kid's book. I think it would do very well. And he was like, all right, I'll do it, but only if you write it with me. So we sat down and we thought it would be a good idea to write a book to get kids to try new foods. So for picky eaters. And the name of the book is called Just Try It. You can get it now. It's everywhere.
Do you try lots of food? Yeah, you like to eat?
What's your favorite food?
Where did we go for your birthday this year?
Revolving sushi.
That's a great answer.
Not just any old sushi.
Revolving.
It has to be revolving.
Sushi. Otherwise, it's not as cool.
It's
I
not as
understand.
cool.
Who served you your drink?
A robot.
A robot.
A robot,
A
sir?
robot
Served?
came around and served the drink.
Oh.
Wow, that's
my.
cool. Where was this?
This is in Austin.
In Austin?
Austin.
What's the name of the place?
I think it's called, Kura's Revolving Sushi.
Kura's Revolving Sushi, everybody.
is
You
an
can
ad
always
for
find
it.
Walt and Teak there. Very nice. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Phil, I don't know if you can top that, but let's give it a shot.
Well,
Joke for Max.
joke for Max.
I've been doing the live show around the country, and in Albany, a 10-year-old boy named Caden got up to the mic, and he had a joke for Max, and I think it's pretty good. So I'm gonna end with this. This is a joke for Max from Caden, 10 years old. 3 divorced guys are walking down the beach. And they come upon a lamp in the sand, and they pick it up and rub the lamp, and a genie flies out and says, I'm going to grant each of you 3 wishes. But just know, whatever you wish for, your ex-wife is going to get double. And the first guy thinks about this, and he thinks and says, you know what? I'd like $1 million. Poof! There's $1 million, puts it in his pocket, and goes off down the beach. The next guy goes, I would like a Lamborghini. Poof, there's a Lamborghini. He gets in the car and zooms away down the beach. The third guy walks right up to the genie and goes, I'd like you to scare me half to death.
That's pretty good, Caden. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to the Rosenthal family.
The family.